We talk a lot about building strength, about going through the fire and coming out stronger. But eventually you hit a point where just being strong isn't enough. So today, we're going to talk about that next step, moving from just raw power to having principles, forging a personal code. And that really brings us to one of the biggest, most important questions you can ever ask yourself. What do you actually stand for? I mean, if you had to answer that question right now, what would you say? Because that old saying is absolutely true. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. But before we get to building the solution, we've got to take a hard look at the problem. See, the world is full of strong men who are totally lost. They've got this massive engine, but no steering wheel. This is the danger of being the rudderless man. I want you to really think about this metaphor for a second. Picture this huge, powerful ship. It looks incredible, it's capable of so much, but without a rudder, it's just a victim of the ocean currents, a danger to itself and every other ship out there. All that incredible potential just gets wasted, turning into a force of chaos instead of purpose. A man without a code, he just drifts. He gets pulled around by whatever's popular, by peer pressure, by his own moods that change day to day. He's always just reacting to what life throws at him, instead of actually leading his own way, and that makes him unpredictable. Ultimately, a man like that can't earn real, lasting respect, not even from himself.
And this quote from Nietzsche, this is the pivot point. That rudder, that anchor we're talking about, that's your why. It's the set of principles you hold that gives you a reason to get through the storms. It's what turns pain into purpose.
Which brings us to the actual work. And notice the word here is forging. This isn't about just finding some code that sounds nice, it's about building one. It's an active, intentional decision about who you are going to be. And hey, this isn't some new idea. It's built on a foundation of wisdom from the past.
The good news is, you don't have to start from scratch here. Just look at history. It's filled with men who got this. The samurai had Bushido, a powerful code of honor. The Stoics lived by their 4 virtues. Religious texts talk about following a narrow path of discipline. See the pattern here? The greatest men have always been guided by a clear set of principles.
So, how do you actually do it? Well, it starts with some brutal honesty. Really looking in the mirror. Then from there, you choose your core values. But don't just pick nice-sounding words like honor or courage. No, you have to define exactly what they mean in your day-to-day life. And finally, you write it down. You make a pledge to yourself. That act of putting pen to paper, it makes it real. And let's be absolutely crystal clear on this. This is not for your social media bio. This is not a performance. Your code is for those moments when the doors are closed and nobody else is looking. That's the real measure of who you are.
Okay, so writing the code down, that's one thing. But living it when the pressure is on, when the fire gets hot, that's everything. This is where the steel of your character is really tested.
Look, it's easy to have principles when they don't cost you a thing. It's easy when you feel motivated or when everyone agrees with you. But what happens when keeping your word means you'd lose money? What happens when standing up for what's right means you have to stand completely alone? Or when that temptation whispers in your ear and you know for a fact no one would ever find out? That is the moment your code becomes real.
So how do you stand firm when those moments hit? First, you go back to your why. Remind yourself what you stand for. Then you create space. Just slow that moment down before you react. You also have to just accept that living with honor is often going to be uncomfortable. And this is a big one. Surround yourself with other men of principle. There's a reason they say iron sharpens iron. It's because those men hold you accountable. They've been through their own tests, and they can give you the strength you need when yours starts to fail.
And I want you to burn this into your mind. If your principles have never cost you anything, not time, not money, not comfort, then they aren't actually principles. They're just preferences. The real value of your code is measured by what you're willing to sacrifice for it.
So, we end right back where we started, but now with a challenge. The forge is hot, the steel has been hardened, the hammer is in your hand. The only question left is, what are you going to inscribe on it? What values are you going to permanently brand on the man you are becoming?